Hi, Cornwall, Lebanon elementary families. My name is Dean Bosman, principal of Ebenezer Elementary. Just recently, parents and guardians from across the district received information about enrollment options for the upcoming school year and directions for making a selection in the Skyward Family Access portal. The elementary principals are here to provide you with a glimpse into what in-person instruction will look like this school year in 4 areas: transportation, classroom, cafeteria, recess, and other general mitigation and sanitation efforts. Following my presentation, you will hear from Mr. Brown, Mr. Arts, and Mr. McGinty. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and we hope it is helpful in making the best decision for your family. For transportation this coming school year, there will be a controlled procedure to load and unload buses to minimize traffic in the hallways and entering the buildings and exiting. The driver will wear a face shield. Students will wear a face covering, such as a mask. The buses will be cleaned in between each run, between the high school, middle school, elementary, and also our afternoon kindergarten runs. Students will be seated in a way that minimizes student interaction as they move to their assigned seat. Siblings will be seated together. Identified windows will be open for ventilation. Seats will be marked for proper spacing. Students will be assigned a specific seat to sit in. We also anticipate a reduction in bus riders due to increased parent drop-off and pickup at each of the elementary schools. And some students will also be attending school virtually. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brown, who will talk about how the classroom will look this coming school year.
Hello, Cornwall, Lebanon families. I'm Mr. Brown, the principal at South Lebanon Elementary School. I want to thank you for joining us for our video today, and I want to talk to you about the efforts that we're going to be taking to make sure that your students' classrooms are safe and the students will have the best learning environment possible under the current conditions that we are faced with. So, first of all, families are asked to provide a face covering for each student. These face coverings could be a mask, could be a buff, anything, but those students will have to put those on when they get on the bus, and they will have to wear them as they enter the building and enter the classrooms. Students will be required to wear those face coverings while into the classroom as well. Some important things to note, though: if the student does not want to wear a mask all day, the district will be providing, and we've purchased face shields for students to wear instead of the mask. So those will be optional. Students won't be required to wear both. When the students enter the classroom, their desks will be separated at a minimum of 3 feet apart, and the rows will be staggered. We would love to do 6 feet apart so students wouldn't have to wear a mask, but unfortunately our classrooms just don't have the capacity to space things 6 feet apart. But with this 3 feet apart, most of our desks, we did a mock classroom, and they're about 3.5 to 4 feet apart, which gives students plenty of room, working space to move around within their little area, within their chair area. Also, when students are in the classrooms, they'll be hanging their coats, backpacks on their chairs. They will not be utilizing the cubbies within the classrooms, and this will keep students' materials together and keep from touching other student materials. We are working on some transition schedules, and one important thing to note with the transition schedules, when we are planning on having our students go to their special area classes, and so that will require some hallway travel. To avoid too many students in the hallway at one time, we're staggering those start times of those classes by 5 minutes, so students won't be passing one another in the hallway or waiting outside of one room as students come out. So some disinfecting notes: desks will be disinfected and classrooms will be disinfected each evening by our custodians. They will be sprayed with a hospital grade disinfectant that is known to kill the coronavirus. And also throughout the day, there will be opportunities for our teachers to disinfect the classrooms. They'll be trained in the safe application of these products. Obviously, students won't be in the room when these products are sprayed, but teachers will be trained. The teachers, when they feel appropriate and there's long enough time for the students to be out of the classroom, students can also spray down the room to kill any residual bacteria or infection that's come into the classroom. So those are our mitigation efforts for our classrooms. We look forward to seeing you all back at school for a safe and happy 2021 school year.
Hello, Falcon families. This is Nathaniel Arts here, principal of Cornwall Elementary School. Today, I just want to talk to you about some of the things we're going to be doing in our cafeterias this year. I do want to point out, first and foremost, all 4 of our elementary cafeterias are very different in their layouts and how we can get students in. But our priorities really come down to a few things. I have my cheat sheet here I'm going to talk to you about. First is 6 feet apart. And I'll show you what Cornwall's cafeteria is starting to look like. It's a little bit of a disarray right now as we move furniture and get chairs where we need them to be. But our students are going to be 6 feet apart so they can eat their lunches, maintaining that social distancing piece. Secondly, all of us are going to have limited seating in our cafeterias. And we each of our buildings, Cornwall, South Lebanon, Ebenezer, and Union Canal, we're all going to be setting up differently again, like I mentioned. But we are also probably going to be using our gyms and our LGIs to facilitate our lunches and what that looks like and how we can maintain that 6 feet of social distancing. Our lunches are going to be pre-prepared by our cafeteria staff. Students will come in, they'll get their lunches, and they'll head to their seats. The other thing that we're going to have is key cards. Students are going to have key cards similar to what I have right here that they're going to be able to scan after lunches, just like you do normally on Skyward. Students would come in and plug in their pins here at the elementary. This year we'll have key cards that they will be able to scan. We're going to work with our teachers to make that as hassle-free as possible. So those are the big key components to what lunches are going to look like this year. And I'm just going to kind of show you here at Cornwall what that looks like very briefly. So if you bear with me. First here we have, if you'll see, our tables. They're set 6 feet apart, so of our chairs. It's not normally as close and condensed as it usually is. Also, when students will walk up here, they'll come into the caf. They'll come in here. They'll get their prepackaged food like they normally have, but it's going to be ready for them. They'll come in here like this, and then when they get up here to the cash register, there'll be a scan feature here for them that they'll be able to scan their ID like they have in the past. And again, they'll be 6 feet apart when they sit down to eat. This is for packers and buyers. And we just appreciate everything you guys do as Falcon families. You guys have been awesome during this time. And really what we want to do is serve our students to the best of our abilities and to make this experience for them positive and just the start of the 2021 school year, just something that they're excited about. So we thank you. This is just a little piece of what lunch will look like this year. Feel free to reach out to any of your principals with any questions.
Hello to the Cornwall Lebanon Elementary students, parents, and community learners out there. And a big shout out to Union Canal. My name is Bernard McGinty, principal of Union Canal Elementary School, and I would like to share a couple of things with you about our upcoming school year. We all know that this is a challenging time for you as students and parents, and we are here to support you in sending your kids to school this year. We would like to mention a couple of things about some of our mitigation efforts that we are doing and planning for during the upcoming 2021 school year. What about recess, you're probably wondering? Our students are still going to have recess here at school. We are all aware that our students are going to need to be wearing face coverings while they're at school, and that is going to be a challenge for a lot of our students to continue throughout the entire school day. So right now we are planning for different ways that our students can have mass breaks throughout the day and also provide recess to them. Our students in our schools will be in their individual classrooms the majority of the time and spending that time with each other. Just like at recess, we will not be mixing students on the playgrounds. Our students will be going to recess with their cohort of students that they are with in their homeroom. So they'll be together out there. They can play. Um, our staff are working on different types of activities that they can play without masks and activities with masks and what that may look like. We want to reassure you also during the day of other mitigation efforts that we are planning as we speak right now. We are planning for appropriate teaching and hand washing strategies for our students so that our students learn when and how to hand wash appropriately. A lot of these hand washing times will come during times of transition. Anytime the student leaves the classroom, they will wash prior to leaving, and then when they come back, a lot of times our students we're planning to wash when they transition within the building to specials prior to and coming back, cafeteria prior to and coming back, when they go out for recess prior to and coming back. So we are practicing and going to be teaching these mitigation strategies to our students as well. Other things that we are working on within the school are how do we keep our students separate, not just physically separate from themselves, but within their little homeroom cohort pods together. So when we transition to specials as a third grade or fourth grade or first grade level, when we all go to our specials for specials times, we are providing for and planning for our teachers so that we spread out by classroom, so that again our classrooms are not mixing in the hallways. We will be teaching these strategies and these protocols to our students during the first couple weeks of school so they understand how to work within the building and stay safe. Again, our goal this year is to keep your children safe, productive, and happy so that they can learn in an environment that is comfortable. And we are working really hard to be able to provide this for you. Throughout the summer, we have broken up our staff and our administrative teams into different small groups to work on all types of mitigation strategies. Ones like orientation and back to school night. How do we provide these items still to you, to our families of the Cornwall-Lebanon School District, but yet keep everyone safe at the same time? We want to provide these things for you. We believe that we should provide these things for you, and we're going to come up with ways to do so that we can have a traditional school year as best as possible. How do we provide special area instruction? How do we do small group pullout for our students? Food service, what that is going to look like. Student dismissal and arrival. Grade level planning teams, how do we do that now? What needs to look differently? Recess schedules, mass break schedules, all of these items, even going to the nurse's suite. What does that look like now? We are working on different protocols to make sure all of our students during all of these times are separate but yet comfortable so that they can be productive while they're at school. We encourage you to reach out to your child's principal to ask any question you may have because we have a lot of answers for you, and we wanted to briefly go over some of these with you before you make your decision of how to educate your child for the 2021 school year. We believe that this is important, that you understand and know that we are trying to work with you to provide a happy and productive and safe environment for your children. If you have any questions at all, we encourage you to reach out to your building principal through phone or through email so that you can ask any question and that hopefully you can get some answers to help you with the decision of how to educate your child for the 2021 school year. We will do our best to meet your needs for whatever it may be to help keep your children safe, happy, and productive. We thank you for your time, and we cannot wait to see all of you back in school in August.